So, my dear students, welcome to the class of computer graphics. Okay. So, our today's topic is two-dimensional transformation basics. So, today we are going to discuss the concept of basic transformation methods which are available in computer graphics is concerned. Okay. So, this is our topic. So, let us start with the topic. Okay. So, basic two-dimensional geometric transformation. So, actually this with respect to this title is concerned, this is the most important topic in computer graphics is concerned, because with respect to the image creation is concerned, okay, especially to create the animated images. Okay. See, the transformation concept is very much essential. Without this transformation, it is not possible for us to create the animated objects in our image. So, that is why. So, this particular topic is the most important topic, and in this particular two-dimensional geometric transformation is concerned, the very important aspect is first we will discuss our concept with respect to 2D. Okay, two-dimensional means, as all of you know, that it consists of only xy plane. See, this is what the xy plane that you can observe over here. Okay. So, this is 2D, and the same concept that we can extend it to the 3D also, that is 3-dimensional. At that time, okay, I can go with another coordinate representation, that is z value. So, it means that, as all of you know that, okay, the image is always defined as a group of object, where every object is made up of primitives, and every primitive is going to defined by a vertex. So, finally, that vertex will come with a value x comma y, which is a geometric description. That is very important. So, that is why please go through the definition over here. What is the purpose of this geometric transformation is concerned? See there, this particular point. This is operations that are applied to geometric description of an object to change its position, to change its orientation, and to change its size are called as what? Geometric transformation. That is very important here. Okay. So, the purpose of this geometric transformation concept in computer graphics is concerned. Okay. So, for any object as a part of the image is concerned, if you want to change the position of an object, if you want to change the orientation of the object, and if you want to change the size of the object, then we need to apply these transformations. And where we need to apply these transformations have to be applied with respect to the geometric description of the object. So, what is geometric description of the object? It is very simple. Objects are made of primitives. What are primitives here? Line, triangle, polygon, all these are called primitives, where every primitive is made up of what? A set of vertices, where every single vertex is described with respect to a geometric position, that position with respect to what? X comma y, especially in case of two-dimensional is concerned. Okay. Now, moving ahead, okay, in this geometric transformation function, so we are going to provide 3 type of basic transformations. That is very important. Okay. So, these geometric transformations, there are 3 basic types are available. The very first one is translation, second one is rotation, and third one is scaling. So, all graphics packages today that we are going to work with in creation of the artificial computer graphics is concerned, okay, every package is going to provide some of the functionalities to handle with this translation, rotation, and scaling, because with which these functions only we can create an animated images. Okay. So, if you want to move the object from one place to another place, it is an animation effect, then we can go for translation. That is nothing but what? Changing the position. Changing the orientation means what? That is with respect to angle, I want to rotate the object. For example, say you are moving a cycle, your wheel should rotate, that effect you should get it. How it will be done? By using what? Rotation. Okay. as the cycle is moving away from the viewer, whether the size of the cycle remains same or the size of the cycle should be get reduced. The size should be get reduced. It means that my size of the object should be get changed. That is nothing but what scaling here. So, like this, there are three basic types of geometric transformation concepts are available that we are going to incorporate in our computer graphics. Okay. So, that is the reason that I told that this particular concept is the most important concept in our graphics is concerned. Whenever you are going to develop any graphical images using any appropriate package. Anyway, here we are going to use the OpenGL that we are learning. So, in our OpenGL also all these transformation types are available, and we are having ready-made functions are also available to make use of this translation, rotation and scaling. Now, we will move on to the one by one all these types we will discuss. So, my very first transformation type is two-dimensional translation. Okay. So, now look at the definition here. What is translation? Translation is defined as moving an object, moving an object from one position to the another position in a straight line path. So, if you want to move the object from one position to the another position on the display device, then that transformation is known as what? Translation. Do remember this particular point. So, if you in this particular diagram is concerned, if you observe here, imagine that there is a point P with x comma y, and if I want to move this particular point P to some different position here, then my point becomes P dash. So, it means that it will move to a new coordinate location x dash comma y dash. See here. So, whenever I want to translate a two-dimensional position, we will add what? A translation distances, that is Tx and Ty, to the original coordinate x comma y. So, what is my original coordinate x comma y here? This is point P, and to obtain the new coordinate position x dash comma y dash. So, this is the changed position of the point, that is P dash. Is it clear? So, this is called as what? Translation here. So, here just have a look at the equations what is happening here. So, if x comma y is my original position, to move that point to the new position x dash comma y dash, I am going to add a translation distances, or they are also called as translation factors called Tx and Ty. So, for x coordinate I will be adding translation factor Tx, for y coordinate I will be adding translation factor Ty, so that I am going to get a new coordinate position x dash comma y dash where my point P has been moved. This is nothing but what? Translation, means I am moving a point P from its original position to the a new position called x dash comma y dash. So, this is what happening over here. So, here the distance pair Tx comma Ty is called as what? A translation vector. Is it clear? So, how to represent this translation vector in terms of column matrix here? It's very simple. See here, my point P that I can define over here with x comma y, a column matrix. Then what are my translation factor here? That is Tx and Ty, that I am going to call it as a matrix T, and my new position, the translated point, that position is called x dash comma y dash, that matrix I am going to call it as what? P dash. So, finally, how I can write the equation in terms of the matrix is concerned? See here. So, P is my point P with x comma y matrix, T is my translation factors with Tx and Ty. When I will add these two matrices, I will get a matrix called what? P dash with what? X dash comma y dash in another matrix. So, this is what the metric representation for translation. Is it clear? So, once again I will repeat, just do remember, translation is nothing but moving an object from one position to the another position. So, here for simplicity I am applying for only one point. So, like that, if you consider a triangle, see here, a triangle will comes with how many vertices? 3 vertices. For all these three vertices you have to apply what? Translation. It means that you have to add this Tx and Ty to the x component and y component of vertex 1, vertex 2 and what? Vertex 3, then automatically your whole triangle will be moved from one position to the another position. This is called translation. So, let us move to the one example over here. Just if you look at this particular example, hope it will be get cleared here. So, this is the triangle example that I have taken here. This is my original triangle. Look at the values here. So, here for example, say for this particular vertex is concerned over here, if you observe, see for this particular vertex, what are the x value and y value here? X is equal to 10 and y value is equal to around 2. You can observe here for this particular vertex I am talking about. Okay. Now, what are my translation factors in the vector which are stored? See, these are my translation factors. So, Tx is how much? 5.50 and what is Ty? 3.75. Is it clear? Now, according to our discussion is concerned, if I want to move this particular point from this particular position to a new position, what will be happening here? My x will be added with what? So, here x is already what? 10. So, 10, this is what? Minus 5.5 and y is equal to how much? 2 it is. 2 plus how much it is? 3.75. So, that is what happening over here. Then look at here, how much I will get a new position x dash. My new position x dash is equal to 10 minus 5.5. It means that it will come to 4 point something, you can observe here. Okay. And what about the y value? My y value, my original y value was 2. For that I am adding 3.75. So, it will be around 5.75. You can observe here. My y value will be what? Here around 6, 5.75. It means that, just have a look at here, my original position was here, my original coordinate values of one vertex of this triangle is actually 10 comma around it was 2, and after adding these translation factors I got it as how much? So, this is around 4.52, okay, 4.52, this is 2 plus 5.75, look at here. So, this is my translated vertex here. The same thing will be applicable for this vertex, okay. The same factors will be added over here. What is the factors? So, these factors will be get added. So, this is how I can move any object, okay. And if I am going to apply it for a rectangle, then for all the 4 vertices it will be get applied, okay. And very important point, translation is always called as a rigid body transfer. Rigid body in the sense what? It will never affect the size and shape of the object, okay. If you are moving triangle here, look at here, you are moving triangle to a new position, it remains always triangle only, okay. If you are moving a rectangle, it always remains what? Rectangle. There is no change in the size and there is no change in the shape. So, that is why it is always called as a rigid body transformation. So, remember, translation is the type of rigid body transformation, okay. Next we will move to the second one, second type of transformation, that is 2-dimensional rotation. So, rotation is nothing but changing the orientation of an object. Is it clear? So, that is also a part of an animation effect that we are supposed to get it clear. That is very important concept over here. So, what is rotation here? Rotation is always defined as moving an object along a circular path, okay, in an xy plane. Why? Because we are discussing a 2D here, that is why on a xy plane, by specifying two important aspects, one is rotation axis and another one is rotation angle, okay. So, whenever you want to perform a rotation, you are moving the object along a circular path, that is the first thing. And second thing is, to perform this rotation, you will be doing it on what? XY plane, as it is 2-dimensional, and for that the rotation will be always done with respect to some rotation axis. So, there are three principal axes are there, x axis, y axis and z axis. Is it clear? So, rotation should be always done with respect to by specifying one axis, that is very important, and with what angle I want to rotate, this is very important. Okay, that we need this parameter over here. Okay, that is the first point. And second point regarding with the rotation is concerned, look at here, rotating the object about the rotation axis, that is perpendicular to the xy plane, perpendicular to the xy plane. Why? Because why this point we have taken? Because we are discussing a two dimensional here. Is it clear? See, all of you imagine right now you are keeping that mobile in your hand. Okay, your mobile display screen is itself is a xy plane here. Any doubt? See, this is your mobile screen. Okay, so this mobile screen is itself is what? An xy plane. So this is x and this is what? Y. And for this xy plane, just you put your finger as a perpendicular. You put that finger as a perpendicular. Is it clear? Then you start rotating your mobile. How your mobile will be rotating? See there, look at the effect that you observe. It is always going to change only the x and y value, but that finger that you have kept, which is perpendicular to your mobile display screen, that itself is acting as a z axis. That is very important. That itself will be acting as what? The z axis. So it means that always 2D rotation is nothing but rotation about z axis. Do remember, 2D rotation is nothing but what? Rotation about z axis. It means that you are performing the rotation with respect to the z axis with that xy plane. When you start rotating that xy plane, only x and y values will be getting changed and z remains what? Same. It means that the z value will be equal to what? 0. Only we need to deal with x and y. When I will be dealing with only x and y, this is called as what? A two dimensional. Is it clear? Because when we will go for three dimensional rotation there, then we can perform a separate rotation about x axis and y axis. Okay. So, that is the reason that just do remember this particular point here, always do remember. Okay, three dimensional rotation about z axis is nothing but two dimensional rotation. Hope all of this point has been cleared for all of you. Three dimensional rotation about z axis is nothing but two dimensional rotation. Why? Because two dimensional rotation will be always done about which axis? Z axis. Is it clear? So, this is the second point. Okay. Then third point, parameters for two dimensional rotation are the rotation angle. Look at here, rotation angle theta and the position xr comma yr. So, it means that the parameters which are needed to perform the rotation are, one is rotation point, is also called as what? The pivot point. Okay, and another one is what? An angle theta. These two parameters we always need while doing what? The rotation, another point. Okay. So, and always do remember, see there, the default rotation in case of any transformation is concerned, the default rotation will be always done with respect to the origin. Do remember, origin is nothing but what? 0 comma 0. This is the default rotation point in the rotation. Okay. So, if you want to perform the rotation other than origin, then that pivot point is also called as a fixed point which is other than what? Origin. That we will discuss it later. But once again I will repeat the same thing, always our default rotation will be done with respect to the origin. Okay. Do remember this. Then if you observe in this particular diagram is concerned, see here, this is my object and this object is rotated with respect to theta, and also the rotation point is xr comma yr. This is what? My rotated object. That is it. So, it means that what inputs I am giving? I am giving the reference point with which my rotation is to be taken place, that is rotation point. In this case, the rotation point is what? xr, yr, and the angle is what? Theta. Is it clear? But do remember, our default rotation, for our default rotation, the rotation point will be always with respect to the origin. Do not forget this one. And another important thing is, always see there, my how to perform this clockwise and anti-clockwise rotation here. If my angle theta is positive, okay, then the rotation will be always done counterclockwise. That is very important. If my angle theta is negative, then my rotation will be always what? Clockwise. So, this is very important point that you should remember. Okay, this is another point to be considered over here. Now, we will move on to the how to define the equations, that is matrix for rotation. Just know what we did it for translation. Clear? So, now just have a look at here. So, in this particular diagram is concerned, okay, if you observe here, okay. So, here what is happening? So, there is a point x comma y and I want to rotate this one to x dash comma y dash. So, here, so what I am going to do? I want to rotate this point p x comma y with some angle theta, that is very important, and this rotation is being done with respect to the origin, and here r is the distance between that point and this rotation point, the point p comma x p of x comma y and this rotation point. This is the distance of that r remains always same, okay, and here phi is the initial angle which has been made. So, with this particular information, now what we are going to do, we will derive the equation here, okay. So, using the standard trigonometric equation, okay, you know that there are two angles which have been made. So, what is angle phi here? The angle phi is, this is the initial angle which has been made with respect to point p x comma y. So, theta is what? Rotation angle that I want to apply. So, after applying the theta, my new position of point p is what? X dash comma y dash. There are two angles are there, okay. Now, with respect to these two angles are concerned, now look at here how I am going to write it using standard trigonometric identities here. So, my new point x dash is given by what? X dash is given by r into cos theta, cos of phi plus theta, and y dash equal to r into sin of theta plus phi plus theta, and after expanding as per your trigonometric rules are concerned, look at here. So, r into cos phi or cos theta minus r into sin phi sin theta. When I will expand sin of phi plus theta, what you will get? R into cos phi sin theta plus r into sin phi cos theta, okay. So, these two equations that you are going to get it, and also we know that the original coordinate of the point in polar coordinates. So, here x will be defined by r into cos phi and y will be defined by r into sin phi here. Just have a look at here. So, this is with respect to our polar coordinates. Now, when I know that x is equal to what? R into cos phi. What is y? R into sin phi. Now, I will substitute this x value and y value in this equation here. See here, r into cos phi. So, this is what? X. R into sin phi. This is what? Y. The same thing here also, r cos phi or sin phi. I will replace with x and y. If I do that, what I will get? I will get this equation. Now, my x dash is given by x into cos theta minus y into sin theta, y dash is given by x into sin theta plus y into cos theta. So, this is the equation for new position x dash comma y dash. Is it clear? Where I am moving from point p of x comma y to the new position x dash comma y dash, means I am rotating. Is it clear? Now, the same thing will be written in terms of the matrix form. Just have a look at here. So, this is my matrix form. So, what I can do? P dash is equal to r into p, where what is p? P is nothing but a point x y. What is p dash here? P dash is x dash comma y dash. Then what is this r? This is the rotation matrix. See here, this rotation matrix is nothing but what? Cos theta minus sin theta, cos theta. How we will get it? It is very simple. In this equation is concerned, if you look at there, okay. So, this is x y component and this is x dash y dash component. See here, x component is what? Cos theta, y component is what? Sin theta, x component is what? Sin theta, y component is what? Cos theta. So, this is how you can write it in equation here, okay. So, this is the equation of rotation. This is very, that you have to remember, it is very important. Cos theta minus sin theta, cos theta, you have to remember this, Okay, this is what the rotation matrix that we are going to derive here. Okay. Now, the last type, third type of transformation, that is two dimensional scaling. So, scaling is nothing but what? Look at the definition. Scaling is defined as altering or changing the size of an object. So, to create an animated object with respect to the realistic effect, we also sometimes need to change the size of the object. That is very important. Okay, that is called as what? Scaling. And always the scaling operation is always performed by what? Multiplying the object position x comma y by scaling factors xx and sy to produce a new coordinate x dash comma y dash. Is it clear? So, if my point P of x comma y is there, to scale that a new position x dash comma y dash, what I have supposed to do? I have to multiply the scaling factors x into sx, y into sy, which will give me what? A new position x dash comma y dash. That is very important. Okay. So, here I am multiplying the scaling factors here, and another thing, the scaling factor x here in this equation, the scaling factor sx is going to alter the position in terms of x direction, x axis direction, and sy in terms of what? Y direction. Okay. So, if this is y direction, it will change, this is what? X direction. So, that is also very important. And the scaling factors, that only we have mentioned here, the scaling factor sx scales the object in x direction and sy scales in what? Y direction. And how to write in matrix form here? So, this is my point P of x comma y, where no original position, and this is my matrix sx 0 and 0 sy. Okay, that is the scaling matrix. Then if I multiply these two, I will get what? X dash comma y dash, scaled point or scaled object, that I can write it in terms of this matrix form, that is where P is what? X comma y, and S is the scaling matrix, and P dash is a scaled object or point. Okay. And with respect to the example is concerned, if you want to see the example here, how the scaling will be get affected. Okay. So, in this particular example, consider here. So, this is my square here, this is my input object. On this input object, I want to apply a scaling factor sx equal to 2 and sy equal to 1. So, it means that when I will multiply the x value of this square by 2, automatically the x value will be doubled. X value will be what? Doubled here. Okay. That is the reason that, look at here, my square is changing into what? Rectangle. Why? Because I am scaling in along what? X direction. Why? Because my sx has been defined as what? 2, but my sy remains what? Same. If you multiply anything by 1, it remains same. So, my in this particular example is concerned, if you observe, see here. So, there is no change in the y direction, y value remains same, there is only change in the x direction. Why? Because my sx is equal to what? 2. So, that is why always do remember, in general, very important points in scalings are concerned. Okay. In scaling is concerned, the scaling factors sx, okay, is equal to sy is equal to, if it is 1, then there is no change or there is no alter in the size of the object. Why? Because the object size remains same. If this is the case, sx is equal to sy is equal to 1. If, okay, if sx is equal to 2 or sy is equal to or sx and sy both are 2, then automatically the size will be get what? Doubled. Okay. And another thing, if my sx value is 0.5, then automatically the size will be get reduced. If I apply on this one with 0.5, then it will come back to this one, sx. Okay. And do remember, in generally always the scaling factors sx and sy should be positive values only. It cannot be negative, or it cannot be 0. If it is 0, then there will be no existence of that particular object is concerned. Why? Because we are multiplying the factors here. Okay. It should be always a positive value. Okay. And if the sx and sy value is that is very important. If the Sx and Sy value, if the value of Sx and Sy is greater than 1, then the size will be get increased, that is very important. If the value of Sx and Sy is what, less than 1, then the size will be what, decreased. Okay. If it is greater than 1, the size will be increased. Okay. And if Sx and Sy values are same, then there will be no change in the shape. If Sx is not equal to Sy, then there will be a change in the shape. Look at here, Sx is 2 and Sy is 1. So, I am stretching along x direction, okay, I am stretching along x direction, but not along y direction. So, my square has become what, rectangle here. Okay. If Sx is also 2 and Sy is also 2, then it would have been become like this, a big square, doubled, it will be get what, doubled. Is it clear? So, the same thing is happened here also. See here what is happening here, we are changing the size. So, Sx is equal to Sy is equal to 0.5. It means that if this is my original line, I have made it half of that line. So, it has been reduced the size, okay. Proportionally it has reduced the size. And another important thing, always do remember, scaling is a non-rigid body transformation. This is what, non-rigid body transformation, that is very important. Non-rigid body in the sense what, here the size of the object will be get changed, and even sometimes the shape of the object is also get changed in scaling, but that is not going to happen in rotation and translation. Translation and rotations are rigid body transformations. There the change in size of the object will not be changed, that remains same. The only thing is, in translation object will be moved, in rotation the object will be rotated, but in scaling what happens, the size of the object will be get changed, and also sometimes depending on the Sx and Sy value, the shape of the object will also get changed. That is why it is called non-rigid body transformation. Okay. So, these are the three basic types of transformation: translation, rotation and scaling. In the next class, we will convert these two dimensional into the homogeneous coordinate, then we will discuss how it will be represented in 3 dimensional. Okay. Thank you.